Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's my turn. I can't wait. I'm glad to see you all. Everyone, even the little ones down there. Hi, 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 hi. So pop-up was the theme. And I thought, well, geez, what do I know about popping up? And then I started seeing that the stores must have started laying out Halloween stuff, because all over my neighborhood, little fairies and pixies and ugly monsters and pixie ghosts and this kind of stuff just was a plethora, a bouquet. They were popping up everywhere. So as I kept thinking about it, there's a couple of little stories that I'd like to share with you. Okay. First story. I'm ending a long morning of 100,000 gigs, jillions of kids going by behind Punch Bowl in Honolulu. I don't know how many kids, jillions. And they're all like, bye, Mr. Jeff, bye, Mr. Bud. I'm like, bye, kids, bye. I look over, there he is. We call it Ehu hair, kind of a red-headed Hawaiian. It's a DNA thing. He's got no neck, little pudgy boy, and he's looking at me. I say, do you want to tell me a story, son? Well, now would be a good time. Go ahead. When my tutu died, my grandma, I was in my bed and the door to my bedroom was open and I could look into my kitchen. My mom was making some food and I saw my grandma, my tutu lady, walk by. And I say, tutu, tutu. My mom hears me yelling. She stops what she's doing in the kitchen. She comes in, she says, you saw her too? And that night, tears are streaming down the boy's cheeks. That night, I was sleeping in my bed and I felt something on my cheeks. And I opened my eyes and something moved away and it was hands. They were the hands of my tutu lady. And my grandma said, Keone, Keone, I will always love you, Keone. I love you, boy. Don't ever forget. I love you. And she faded away. I said, oh, Keone, that's a beautiful story. Your grandma couldn't go to the world where dead people go before she stopped in to tell you how much she loved you. She loves you, Keone. That's what happened. Yeah. And he went away. So in this season coming of Halloween, my birthday, I'd just like to ask you who don't really believe in this stuff. Do you really think that little boy made that story up? I was once a younger man, and I was a handsome young man. We call what I was a hippie. I was a hippie studying a master's degree program at San Francisco State University in interrelating the arts, performance art, making meaningful things out of nothing. Man, I wanted to make rituals. I wanted to make theater that could change, transform people, do something meaningful with theater, not this kind of education. So no, this was powerful archetypes, you know, the whole sort of thing. So I had it in my mind that I was going to stage a play of death, then 3 stages, and then resurrection. It would be staged at Fort Funston. Fort Funston was built in a Y shape to defend San Francisco from the invading Japanese military that was flying in to bomb them, just like they did Pearl Harbor. So the Federales had built one tunnel that forked roadways going to either side to these giant bunkers where those howitzers were placed, ready to shoot down the Japanese airplanes. One on each end, these long tunnels, big enough for cars, because on the sides of each of this tunnel, there were lots of rooms where the munitions would be. So my girlfriend at the time, who became my wife, and then became my ex-wife, and then became my deceased ex-wife, and I were scoping out Fort Funston to stage this death and resurrection play that I had in my mind. We had it all out on paper, and we were in the first room. We walked in, there was a bunch of little offices with giant like picture windows looking into the hallway that went off to the left and off to the right. Where those big howitzers were, you say, uh-huh. Right. And we were just hanging out, getting everything cleaned up, when out of the dark, we heard voices. There were clearly a gaggle of boys walking down the long roadway towards us. You couldn't really see them very well, but we had been in there so long, our irises were open and we could see better than most people would ever imagine. And there was this gaggle of kids. We could hear their voices. Hey man, hey, yeah, wow, woo, it's dark in here. Yeah, it's coming. Hey, ho, low, hey, boo, scared you. That's when it hit me. The right place, the right time. I went. As we were silent, they walked down the long roadway and then came like it was staged right in front of us. They could, hey, look, there's an opening here. They came right in front of us, and then just about that long. Just a quick little glimmer of time. Long enough for the optic nerve to transfer the data into the brain, but not long enough that the brain could actually comprehend what was happening. It was more like not fight, but flight, and flight it was. Have you ever seen 10 people in the dark, teenagers, go clairvoyant, actually float, levitate? That's what I saw. They literally float. It wasn't a question of words. It was a question of, can I get the the glands of the adrenal system kicked in, and these guys were running before their feet grabbed the ground. They were running as fast as they could for all they were worth. They'd seen a ghost. I've been laughing over about that incident for 30 years, at least. And there's one little caveat left, because an hour later, after we had scoped out the tunnel and all the little rooms and had sketched out our death and resurrection, where the guy would come up and run out and jump over the edge of the cliff to disappear into the vast forever. Coming back through the walkway to get into the parking lot, there were about 15 teenage boys sucking on cigarettes and looking very intent. And when we came over the rise, all their eyes were watching us walk by. Was that the guy? Is that the girl? Is that them? My response was to keep talking to my ex-deceased wife. And then I looked at one point, and that was it. Was that he didn't seem very. Oh, my friends, may the spirit of being something else come upon you this Halloween, and may we all enjoy stories of popping up and flipping out, stories from our tongues to your ears. Amen.